We are exploring with regards to history of the famous Yeshivat Knesset Israel, looking at some different great rabbis. That was very much an integral part, especially in the earlier years. Today we're speaking Rabbi David Haim Shmuel Hassan, Zecher Tzadik Livracha. He was born in the year 1710 and he passed away in English year 1785. Naturally, that was Hebrew year Hey Tav Kuf Mem Hey. He would go on to become a great rabbi, he would become a Diyan, a judge, a Shluchei D'Rabbanan at a later stage in his time, a Rosh Yeshiva, especially during the heart of the 18th century. He lived about 75 years. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the famous rabbi's life. Now, he was born in an area in Morocco called Sela. This was in the year 1710. He was born in over there. Obviously, was very, very esteemed, very great rabbi, and lived very much at the time period of Rabbi Haim ibn Attar. So born in Sela, I believe he was a started student of Rabbi Haim ibn Attar, the Orach Haim HaKadosh, great rabbi. I think come with the year 1739, he would go with his Rabbi Haim ibn Attar, and with various different great Talmudim to the city of Livorno in Italy over there. The mission over there was to actually eventually make Aliyah to Eretz Israel and form the Yeshivat Knesset Israel over there, where that will end up becoming one of the famous yeshivas, let's just say, of Jerusalem over the last several hundred years, without a doubt. Come with the year 1741, he would go with his rabbi to Eretz Israel, and they would, I think originally when they came there, they would learn in Akro, if I'm not mistaken, for a period of time, because there was a rumor that there was a plague, I think in Yerushalayim. But eventually, when they found out that it was safe to go to Jerusalem, that this plague had finished, they would actually come and would form the Yeshivat Knesset Israel over there. I think his son will also come with him. Rabbi Shlomo will become an integral part over there, and they would write down various chidushim and various different teachings. Now, I think his rabbi, the Orach Haim HaKadosh, passed away in the year 1743, and obviously he was going to be now an integral part of the Yeshivat Knesset Israel from a head vantage point, let's just say, in of itself. I think there was also Rabbi Shem Tov Gabbai that had an integral part over there. And I think come with the year 1749, his signature, along with various other great rabbis, including Rabbi Shem Tov Gabbai, will be at the preface of his rabbi's book called the Rishon Letzion, the famous book. Now, Kamot, I think the year 1758, I think there was various different learnings going on in Knesset Israel at that point in time, and I think there was press situations also in of itself. He would actually go out as a Shluchei D'Rabbanan, a rabbinic emissary, to various different places to help raise funds for the poor people of Jerusalem. Remember, there was a dual purpose as a Shluchei D'Rabbanan, not just to raise funds for the vicinity, the holy cities of Israel, but also to inject Torah and spirituality to the places he would be visiting, and really mitzchazek the people over there. He would go around his travels. I think sadly, at one stage in time while he was traveling, his wife passed away. He would, I think, go to Alexandria in Egypt. That was one of the places he would go to, and was really accepted by many of the people over there, and really inject Torah there. He would actually become close to Rabbi Eliyahu Yisrael. Remember, we've spoken about the famous Yisrael rabbinic family of yesteryear. He would actually speak to them, and they would form a close connection over there. And I think eventually he would go, I think, also with his son, Rabbi Shlomo, and they would go together to Livorno, if I'm not mistaken, and then they would actually stay at the philanthropist's house, a famous house, Rabbi Yosef Franco, Rabbi we've spoken about on various occasions before, and would help the nation of the yeshiva, the Yefa'ar Anuyim B'Yeshua, if I'm not, Anavim B'Yeshua. I think this was based in Jerusalem very much, so that was a very, very great importance, as let's just say, in of itself, and that was an important travelling case. I think come with the year 1777, this would have been, I think he would he'd become close, especially with a lot of the rabbis from Livorno in Italy over there, and I think a book of his will get printed over there, if I'm not mistaken. He'll become, I think, appointed part of the Chavrei Beit Din, and eventually pass away in the year 1785. Will be a judge and be part of this committee over here. Now, it's interesting, his son Rabbi Shlomo, hopefully we're going to speak about him at a later stage, was also a very good rabbi. His son Rabbi Shlomo, I think we mentioned about him on various occasions inside this series, Rabbi Shlomo Hassan. So I recommend everyone to look at that video. He would get married to the daughter of the Marit al-Ghazi, also popularly known as Rabbi Yom Tov al-Ghazi. Rabbi Yom Tov al-Ghazi was one of the famous Rosh Yeshivot of Yeshivat Bet El, the famous Kabbalistic yeshiva in Jerusalem over there. So he would really get married into a great family in of itself. Come with the year 1792, I think he would actually, his son, Rabbi Shlomo, would actually bring about his father's teachings in various different volumes. Great Torah book, and I think it was called the Michtam le David, if I'm not mistaken. Various different books that actually get printed of his, including Michtam le David. This was Chidushim on the Mishnah Torah of the Rambam. Then another great book was called Chidushei David. This was Chidushim on the Talmud, the Talmud Babli, respectively. Another one, the Chidushei David. This was, let's just say, Shelot Shvat, question and answers book. This comprised of. Then there was a Chidushei Haritba al Mesechet Megillah, which was, I think, in manuscript form, if I'm not mistaken. I think a second volume would be printed called the Chidushei David, which was various different teachings, novelties, so to say, on the Shulchan Aruch, on Orach Chaim, on the code of Jewish law, on the part of the Orach Chaim, respectively. So he was a great rabbi of his time, without a doubt. The Rabbi Chaim David Shmuel Hassan, a rabbi we've spoken about on various occasions before. He was obviously part of the Ottoman Empire he was living in, and at that point in time he was very well travelled. He would go to Italy, he would go to Egypt, very much all over Israel in his times, and really work in Jerusalem, the holy city, the capital city of Israel. Obviously he was from Sela in Morocco originally. He would also he was not just an expert on Talmud, he was the expert on Jewish law, and very much was time of the 18th century, considered one of the great Achronim of his time. He was a student of Rabbi Haim ibn Attar, and in his generation itself, other contemporaries of him, let's just say, included the famous Chida, Rabbi Chaim Yosef Dardari Azulay, Rabbi Eliyahu Israel, and the Marit al-Ghazi. Naturally, his son would marry his daughter, so they would become family through a strong family connection. Also included among his children was Rabbi Shlomo Hassan, and very interesting enough. And you can actually see, if you look online, you can actually see a picture of his signature, which I recommend everyone to look at over there. I think he passed away in Italy, in Livorno. He passed away in, I'm not too sure where he was buried, that I'll just have to look into. A great rabbi of his time. Please don't forget to learn more about him, learn more about the great rabbis of yesteryear. Now we're a community, friends. We are a community. We're learning about the famous rabbis of yesteryear. Please don't forget to like the videos, share the videos to everyone else, and be part of this project over here. Remember, he was an integral part he had of the famous yeshiva at Knesset Israel. I hope we're going to record a video at one stage in time of this famous yeshiva. Remember, among the, let's just say, the famous students of this yeshiva, there was many famous students in, they will overlap the time period that he was at Talmud, including Rabbi Chaim Yosef Azulay, we've spoken about before. Also, Rabbi Shimshon Chaim Nachmani was a Talmud. I don't know if it was the exact same time, but he was, let's say, one of the great rabbis that actually came with him to form the yeshiva. I think he passed away himself in the year Hei Tav Kuf Bet. He was one that helped in founding the yeshiva. Rabbi Yehuda Kohen was another great rabbi that was along this, let's say, great famous rabbinic crowd over there under Rabbi Chaim ibn Attar, and was one of the famous students in the yeshiva in Akko, along with this great crowd. Also, Rabbi Chaim Yehuda Amzalek was another rabbi that was part of this great chabura at that point in time. He was known as the Chacham HaShalem, and especially from Rabbi Chaim ibn Attar, and which helped the yeshiva actually open also among this crowd. Also, Rabbi Yehuda Di Abila was one of the great Talmudim of Rabbi Chaim ibn Attar. He was part of this crowd, along with the great rabbi we're speaking about here today, Rabbi Chaim Shmuel Hassan. So you can see the caliber of the rabbis at that stage in time was great. Rabbi Chaim Di Abila was also a great rabbi from Morocco. He was part of the Chaveri Yeshiva initially, and was one of the also rabbis who gave the signature on this preface of the Rishon LeZion, famous Rishon LeZion book. Another famous rabbi that was in this crowd with them was Rabbi Avram Yishmael Sanguati, another rabbi we've spoken about on various occasions before. Also Rabbi David Amar, who would actually help very much the yeshiva been formed in Jerusalem. He was author of Tefillah David book on Hilchot Brachot, I think, which was printed in Saloniki in the year Tav Kuf Lamed Zayin, and along also with Rabbi David Haim Shmuel Hassan, who was let's say star student, one of the star students. Also Rabbi Shem Tov Gabbai, who we mentioned about just before in a separate video, who was also one of the famous Talmudim and one of the writers of the preface of the book the Rishon LeZion. Also another rabbi we've got to mention about is Rabbi Yaakov Parienti, who would actually come with Rabbi Chaim Ibn Attar to Italy, and part of the Chavei Yeshivot especially. And another great rabbi among this crowd was Rabbi Yaakov Atzaban and Rabbi Shlomo Argoyoti, Rabbi Eliyahu David Ezria Laornis. They were Rabbi Bochor Levi, Rabbi Tzvi Levi, Rabbi Mordechai Maravi. So really, really great rabbis at that point in time. I can't recommend enough that people will learn. You will all learn more about these great rabbis and learn more. Now, friends, we're a community here. We're learning about great rabbis. Please subscribe to the channel now. We are nearing a staggering 7,000 subscribers. And if you're descend from any of the great rabbis, please let me know. Now, as a special treat here, because we're in Jerusalem at the moment, we're going to leave you some scenes over here of beautiful Jerusalem as a special treat here on this fantastic Monday morning as we're recording in. We're in Ultra Orthodox Jerusalem at the moment. As we're just going into the area of Golda Meir here in Jerusalem, as a special treat, we will just explore these different beautiful areas of Jerusalem. Just a special treat, we're just in Jerusalem. It's just the streets of Yerushalayim. As a community, we love to travel, we love to explore. We love learning about rabbis. On this series also we speak of Parsha classes. We also do Daf Yomi classes, daily Daf Yomi tidbit, which I recommend everyone to watch also and follow. So I think it's a good time to leave it here. Wish you all a fantastic day, friends. Thanks for watching.